Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into the pretty dynamic, high-stakes world of film and television.
Absolutely.
We're drawing our insights directly from the sources you've given us, specifically the Film TV Intel and the Global Film and TV Intelligence Briefing, August 2025 documents. Our mission for this deep dive, it's to unpack the most important nuggets, the surprising facts about the big shifts and intense competitions, really reshaping content creation and distribution right now worldwide. And we're focusing sharply on what's been happening this very month, August 2025.
And it's truly a pivotal moment. I mean, the industry is navigating this period of, profound transformation.
Right.
You've got intense global competition for production money, strategic realignments happening in key international markets, a brand new studio powerhouse emerging.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And, of course, these ongoing, unresolved legal and ethical questions around AI. That's a lot.
It is a lot. Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with what feels like a truly global scramble for production. We're seeing this escalating competition, states and countries trying to attract film and TV shoots through financial incentives. And it's not just about throwing money around anymore, is it? There seem to be some really strategic, almost sophisticated moves happening, especially in the U.S. and Japan.
That's exactly it. The sophistication is key here. These policies aren't just, offering cash rebates. They're surgically targeting specific types of production, specific budget levels, creating competitive advantages that can genuinely shift where a production decides to set up shop.
That focus on sophistication is fascinating. So, digging into California's response first. They took a real hit during the strikes, fighting production flight. How exactly are they surgically targeting things now? What's the clever play?
Well, Governor Newsom signed legislation back on June 27th, and it more than doubles the state's annual film and TV tax credit program. It went from $330 million up to a massive $750 million a year.
Wow, okay.
This Program 4.0, as they call it, kicked in July 1st. But the real game changer, the sophisticated part, is this AB 1138 bill. It boosts the base credit, sure, up to maybe 35–40%.
Right.
But critically, it makes all tax credits fully refundable.
Okay, that's the big one. That's a direct shot across the bow, isn't it?
It is.
Because refundable credits, they totally level the playing field against states like Georgia and New York. Their transferable or refundable credits were often way more valuable if you didn't actually owe much California tax. So it's not just more money, it's smarter money.
Exactly, smarter money. And they've broadened eligibility, too. Animated films, series, even short live-action TV under 30 minutes can now qualify. The state really sees this industry as critical infrastructure. They cite this return where every dollar of credit generates something like $4 to $8 in economic activity.
That's a significant multiplier.
It is. And the immediate impact. It shows this works. The first TV application window back in July, it qualified 16 new productions. They're projected to generate $1.1 billion in spending just within California, creating around 6,700 jobs.
That quickly. Wow. And for filmmakers listening right now, the next big chance is coming up fast. A very narrow 3-day window for independent and non-independent feature films. That's August 25th to 27th, 2025. Definitely one to circle on the calendar.
Absolutely critical deadline.
So, okay, California's $750 million puts it right up there with New York's $700 million program. Still different from Georgia's uncapped incentive, of course.
Right. The structure matters.
And other states are definitely upping their bids, too. Texas, for example, boosted its funding by $100 million over 2 years, putting it on track for potentially $1.5 billion in subsidies over the next decade.
But this state-level arms race, it kind of highlights a national vulnerability, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, while the states are busy competing with each other, the U.S. as a whole is actually losing ground to global production hubs. Think the UK, Australia.
Because they have strong national incentives.
Exactly. Highly attractive national programs. So given that, do you think this proposed Federal CREATE Act, even with bipartisan support, can it really unify the U.S. position against those kinds of national schemes? Or are we just too fragmented state by state?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the multi-billion-dollar question now.
Could be.
The CREATE Act aims to strengthen and extend that federal Section 181 incentive through 2030 and increase the immediate deduction for production costs to somewhere between $30 and $40 million.
Which is significant.
It is, and it shows there's growing recognition, bipartisan recognition, that a more unified federal strategy is needed. But yeah, whether it can truly overcome that state-by-state fragmentation, that's definitely something we need to watch. The
Yeah.
industry is fighting a two-front war here, domestic and global.
Precisely. A complex battlefield.
Now, let's pivot over to Japan. They're deploying an equally fascinating dual incentive strategy, very different approach.
Very layered, yeah.
So on the national level, you've got the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, METI. Their incentive, JLOX plus A, offers a pretty substantial 50% cash rebate.
Halfback. Yeah.
But it's for large-scale international projects, the local spend has to be over $500 million, which is, what, about $3.3 million US?
Roughly, yeah.
And it's worked, right? They've landed big Hollywood films like The Smashing Machine with Dwayne Johnson and Brendan Fraser's Rental Family.
They have. But what's crucial to understand about JLOX plus the national one is that while it's powerful, its funding isn't yet a fixed part of the government's annual budget.
Ah, okay, so there's some uncertainty.
There can be, yeah, especially for projects planning years in advance or multi-year shoots. So while it's very attractive, that funding stability question mark is still kind of hanging there.
That's a really important nuance. So how does the local Tokyo incentive fit in then to maybe complement that or address that uncertainty?
Well, to complement the big national program, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government introduced a new, smaller-scale grant just for 2025-2026. It offers up to $10 million, that's about $67,000 for actual shooting,
Okay.
and another $1 million, around $6,700, just for location scouting. It covers up to 50% of eligible costs, and the explicit goal is boosting tourism.
Makes sense for a city like Tokyo.
But what's really smart is that productions that get selected for the national incentive can also apply for and potentially stack these local Tokyo incentives on top.
Ah, so you layer them.
Exactly. It creates this powerful layered value proposition. It's a sophisticated way to compete on both the macro big budget level and the more micro practical level.
Very clever. And for anyone interested, that Tokyo grant application deadline is coming up too, August 29th, 2025.
Another one for the calendar.
And related to Japan, VIPO opened round 2 applications for domestic production and development grants that's also under the MENTI JLX Plus umbrella just today, August 18th. Those close September 2nd at 5 p.m. Japan time. That's immediate cash flow support specifically for Japanese producers.
Good practical info there.
Okay, moving from where content is made to where it's watched, let's shift focus now to streaming strategies, particularly in Asia. We're seeing a huge move away from that sort of one-size-fits-all global approach towards deep localization.
Yeah, the data on this is just crystal clear now. That initial streaming model, one global platform, one library trying to appeal to everyone, it largely failed in high-growth emerging markets.
Right.
The core insight, the thing everyone's realized, is that success now is entirely contingent on transforming your service into distinct, highly localized products. It has to feel like a native offering, not some foreign import dropped in.
So we're talking about a hyper-local playbook. What are the key pillars of that?
Well, you need affordable mobile-only plans. That's huge in many Asian markets.
Right, mobile first.
Partnerships with local telcos and digital wallets are critical because credit card penetration is often low.
Good point.
And, maybe most importantly, heavy investment in local language content that really resonates with regional tastes.
Disney plus Hotstar in Indonesia seems like the poster child for this, right?
Absolutely. A powerful case study. They use aggressive pricing, but crucially, they had that distribution partnership with Telkomsel, the local telco giant.
Okay.
And they just dominated the market quickly, leaving Netflix and Amazon Prime Video way behind.
And conversely, Netflix has really struggled in India. I remember their co-CEO once called it a speculative investment.
They did, and it really highlights the limits of that global-first content strategy. Finding product-market fit there has been tough for them.
So what's the pivot? What are they doing now?
Well, they seem to be reducing their slate of those broad Indian originals and instead focusing more on licensing high-profile Bollywood and South Indian films.
Mm-hmm.
Basically following the model that Amazon Prime Video used more successfully there.
Interesting. So if you connect this to the bigger picture, what's the future model for global streamers?
It's looking less like one giant global platform and more like maybe a confederation of distinct national services all operating under a single brand umbrella.
A confederation. I like that.
It's a recognition that culture dictates consumption, not global standardization.
This brings us neatly to a major potential upheaval in the Korean VOD market. Huge market, right. $1.1 billion just in the first half of 2025.
Massive and overwhelmingly dominated by local content. Get this, 86% of all premium VOD viewing hours are Korean content.
86%.
Yeah. Korean dramas alone captured 48%. U.S. movies, the biggest foreign category, just 6%.
Wow. Local is king there.
Absolutely. Now, Netflix is the current leader. They have about 8.2 million subs, 47% viewership share, mostly thanks to massive local hits like Squid Game Season 3 obviously helped. But their dominance is under serious threat. There's an approved merger between two local services, TVING and Wave. It's set to be completed by the end of this year, 2025.
Okay, so two local players joining forces. How significant is that projected entity?
It's projected to have 9.2 million subscribers combined. That creates a domestic challenger that would actually surpass Netflix in local subscriber count.
Whoa, a national champion. So what's the broader significance of a merger like this for streaming globally?
Well, it could represent a really powerful, maybe even replicable counter-strategy against global streaming dominance.
How so?
Think about it. As international players like Netflix pour money into local production, they inadvertently raise the quality and the value of the entire local content ecosystem.
Right. They lift all boats.
Exactly.
Oh.
So by merging, TVING and Wave are creating this national champion that has the scale to compete directly for that top-tier local content and talent. This could honestly be a blueprint for other markets looking to defend their local industry against the global giants.
Fascinating dynamic. Okay, let's move into the corporate boardrooms now. The industry's biggest recent M&A deal has to be the $8.4 billion merger of Skydance Media and Paramount Global. That officially closed August 7th.
Yep, deal done.
Creating Paramount, a Skydance corporation, trading as PSTY on the NASDAQ now.
And this isn't just, a simple corporate merger. It really signals a fundamental shift in studio strategy. The new chairman and CEO, David Ellison.
From Skydance, yeah.
Right, he's a very clear mandate. Transform this 113-year-old studio into a tech-forward company. Blend Hollywood creativity with, basically, Silicon Valley innovation.
Okay, tech-forward. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The operational plan. They're restructuring into three core divisions: studios, direct-to-consumer, and TV media, trying to streamline decision-making.
Makes sense. Cutting layers.
And a key goal, find $2 billion in cost savings. A big part of that is unifying the whole company on a single technology platform for the first time ever. That includes merging the tech stacks for Paramount Plus and Pluto TV by 2026.
Ambitious timeline.
Very. Ellison emphasizes, though, that technology is meant to be a powerful multiplier for human creativity, not a replacement.
That's the line, yes. But what's also really fascinating here, and maybe a bit concerning to some, is the merger's fraught political dimension.
Ah, yes, the FCC approval. It came on July 24th. But that was shortly after Paramount paid $16 million to settle that lawsuit from former President Trump over a 60 Minutes interview.
The timing certainly raised eyebrows, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Democratic FCC Commissioner Ana M. Gomez issued a pretty blistering dissent, called the merger born in shame, alleged never-before-seen forms of government control over newsroom decisions and editorial judgment at CBS News. Strong words.
Very strong. And FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, a Republican, confirmed that Skydance had made commitments to address conservative grievances about media bias and apparently to stop diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI efforts.
Right.
And as part of that agreement, Skydance will appoint an ombudsman to evaluate complaints of editorial bias, specifically at CBS.
So the big question this raises, could this set a troubling new precedent, where regulatory approval for huge media deals gets tangled up with political agendas, potentially chilling journalistic independence?
It's certainly an area to watch very, very carefully. The implications could be significant down the line.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. As for the new guard leading this combined company, Ellison is chairman CEO, former NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell is president. But for many industry watchers, the most significant hire is Cindy Holland.
And from Netflix.
Exactly. Former VP of Original Content at Netflix. She's now leading Paramount's entire direct-to-consumer business. Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, the whole streaming operation.
That signals a very aggressive streaming-first strategy for the new Paramount, doesn't it?
Absolutely does. Big move. Okay, let's turn now to a topic touching every corner of creation. AI. Specifically, the AI copyright crossroads.
Yeah. The legal landscape here is complex and fractured.
That's putting it mildly. The rapid integration of AI is forcing this global reckoning with basic concepts like authorship, ownership, intellectual property.
And this regulatory fragmentation you mentioned, it's creating a potential global compliance nightmare. Major markets are just going in different directions.
Okay, like what? Give us some examples.
Well, take the EU AI Act. Key transparency rules just took effect this month, August 2025. They require generative AI providers to publish detailed summaries of copyrighted stuff they used for training.
Empowering right shoulders with info.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the U.S. still relying on existing copyright law. The whole debate there centers on fair use. A May report confirmed training AI does involve reproduction, but whether it's fair use. That's decided case by case, lawsuit by lawsuit. Very uncertain.
Okay. And Japan?
Japan's Article 30-4 is, generally speaking, more permissive. It allows using copyrighted works for data analysis, but crucially not for enjoying the expression itself. So you couldn't train an AI to perfectly replicate, say, a specific artist's style with the intent of creating works in that style.
So you've got these totally different approaches. What's the practical effect for, say, an AI company?
It means an AI model trained perfectly legally in Japan could potentially violate EU transparency rules or face a massive fair use lawsuit in the US. This regulatory patchwork, it could force companies to just adopt the strictest standard globally, maybe the EU's.
Which might stifle innovation.
Right? Or they develop region-specific models, which is incredibly complex and expensive. It creates significant legal hurdles either way.
And beyond just the training data regulations, there are these core creative challenges. Authorship, for one.
Yes. In the U.S., it's now pretty firmly established. A work generated entirely by AI. It cannot get copyright protection. Why?
Yeah.
It lacks human authorship.
The human touch is key.
It's paramount. Copyright only protects the human-created elements of AI-assisted work.
Okay.
And you have to disclose the AI involvement to the Copyright Office. So if you're using AI creatively, that human contribution needs to be clear for protection.
Okay, that's authorship. What about digital replicas? This seems like a huge can of worms.
It really is. De-aging actors like Tom Hanks, recreating voices, using AI to populate background scenes. There's basically a legal vacuum around performer consent, ownership, compensation for these AI-generated replicas.
SAG-AFTRA agreements are starting to tackle this, right?
They are. They're making progress. But there's no clear overarching legal framework yet for perpetual consent or fair compensation structures. And this raises a really important question, a looming IP crisis almost. If studios use AI for significant chunks of a film, say, generating all the backgrounds or creating synthetic supporting characters, those AI-generated elements might potentially fall into the public domain.
So you'd have a film that's a composite, part protected, part unprotected.
Exactly. Imagine the legal mess. And think about the massive future liability if studios don't get clear, perpetual, fairly compensated consent for using actor replicas. This needs clear rules, fast.
Definitely a space to watch closely. Okay, finally, let's bring it back down to earth a bit. Some timely intelligence for producers, filmmakers, festival strategists listening out there.
Boots on the ground stuff.
Right. Starting with a key festival indicator. The prestigious Pardo d'Oro, a golden leopard at the Locarno Film Festival, just went to Japanese director Shomiyake's Two Seasons, Two Strangers.
Ah, good win.
Yeah, critics loved it. And a win at Locarno, it's a really significant market indicator. It immediately boosts a film's profile for international distributors, positions it for the award season buzz.
Definitely one distributors will be chasing now. What about co-productions?
Seeing some interesting movement there, particularly intra-Asian partnerships seem to be maturing. A new Vietnam-Korea co-production, Saigon Oppa, was officially announced this month.
Okay.
It's a comedy directed by Park Yu-tae, a three-way partnership. Korea's Filmline, Vietnam's BHD, and WebT Asia. Filming planned for early 2026.
What's significant about that kind of partnership?
Well, it signals a bit of a shift. It feels like collaboration based more on shared market appeal within Asia, not just about saving costs by shooting somewhere cheaper. It suggests growing confidence in the strength of regional markets themselves.
Interesting. A sign of maturity in the regional ecosystem.
Exactly. And for all you producers listening, mark your calendars. A few critical deadlines and dates are coming up or just passed. For the complete, comprehensive list of these, plus many more for August and September, things like the BFI Discovery Fund, NZ Webfest, Adelaide notifications, SFLM grants, the ESPN DTC launch, Santa Monica permits consolidating, IATC bumps, Busan market intel, New York's indie credit info. We'll have all those details linked in the show notes for this deep dive.
Definitely check the show notes for the full list.
But here are a couple of the absolute must-knows right now.
Go ahead.
That California Film Commission Program 4.0 application window for all feature films, again, August 25th to 27th, very soon.
Tight window.
The Asian Contents and Film Market, ACFM, for 2025. General Market Badge registration closes August 22nd. Online booth registration, August 20th. The market itself is September 20th to 23rd.
Right around the corner.
And for our Japanese producers, as we mentioned, VIPO's Round 2 for Domestic Production Development grants open today, August 18th, and closes September 2nd.
Key dates to act on.
So, wrapping this all up, what does it all mean? What we've looked at this month, it isn't just, a random collection of news headlines.
Not at all.
These are interconnected data points. They illustrate these really profound structural shifts happening right across the film and TV industry, from that fierce global battle for production incentives to the hyper-localized streaming wars playing out, especially in Asia, the new face of Hollywood post-merger, and this incredibly complex, frankly kind of messy legal quagmire surrounding AI.
Indeed. And perhaps a final thought to leave you with. In this increasingly fragmented, technologically driven landscape we've been discussing, where incentives and algorithms are literally reshaping the act of creation, what does true ownership of content or even authorship really mean anymore?
Deep question.
And maybe more practically, how is the industry going to balance this relentless pursuit of profit and efficiency with the fundamental principles of, say, journalistic independence, as we saw with the merger concerns, and basic artistic integrity? Something for you to ponder as these transformations inevitably continue.